Evil takes a seat. This is your look at the new Diamond Select, The Conjuring's Annabelle Gallery Diorama statue. John Formas found the perfect gift for his expectant wife Mia, a beautiful, rare vintage doll in a pure white wedding dress. But Mia's delight with Annabelle doesn't last long. On one horrific night, their home is invaded by members of a satanic cult, who violently attack the couple. Spilled blood and terror are not all they leave behind. The cultists have conjured an entity so malevolent that nothing they did will compare to the sinister conduit of the damned that is now Annabelle. This gallery diorama of Annabelle is made of high-quality PVC. It was designed by Cesar and sculpted by Rocco Tartamella. Seeing as she is out of her cabinet and all, let's try to make this review rather quick before we get a closer look at Annabelle, the gallery statue from Diamond Select. The first thing we're going to do is figure out how tall the statue stands. Now, keeping in mind she is in her chair, keeping in mind as well you can't remove her from her chair, so we're going to take the height of the chair as the highest point on the statue. Annabelle, no surprise at all, stands 6.6. And I think if that tape measure was to allow another number, it probably would be 666. Okay, let's stop talking about that. Switching that to centimeters, then you're looking at the statue standing 16.7, a little over 16.5 centimeters tall. As I'm sure you could probably guess looking at it, it's a generally small statue, not very big at all. It's perfect for sitting on a desk, a small shelf, for example, or some place where you want to keep evil further away from you, maybe in its own smaller glass cabinet. But nonetheless, let's have a look at the statue itself. We'll start, of course, with the bottom base, which, as you can see, is these floorboards. Very nicely sculpted on the boards themselves. Of course, granted, yes, if you flip it upside down, you sort of see the true colors of Annabelle's base. It's sort of this kind of rusted reddish brown. But nonetheless, though, it's been painted decently, though, to the point where you can sort of see a grain that's been try to be dry brushed along the surface there. There's a couple little scratches, little indentations to the flooring as well. So those are all certainly nice touches, little details that Diamond didn't miss. Of course, sitting on top of the flooring is the main attraction, and that's Annabelle. She is firmly in place on top of this rocking chair. The rocking chair, nor can Annabelle be removed from the base. Any bit of ripping and pulling this off will only cause damage and break the statue, so you definitely don't want to do that. The detailing on the actual chair is pretty good as well, like the flooring. Again, you got to imagine that probably the coloring that they used could be similar to this, or could also have been a dark black plastic. And then simply they just, again, painted over top of it the necessary paint that was required. At least in the chair, you've got like that rusted red color. Actually, it's quite very similar to the bottom of the base in that sense. So a few little knots and a little dry brushings of black that they've added to there as well, so it's not simply just all that red treatment. In fact, actually, if you tip it upside down, I'm assuming this is probably the main color that they used, the plastic at least. So it's probably not that far off from the rocking chair itself, and again, they've only just gone in there and roughed up a few little details. Natural grains that would form on wood, they've also put that on the chair itself. You can see it there also in the back as well. So again, it's just an effective use of dry brushing, running a brush of a different color across that, and getting that natural grain effect. Very effective and well done on their part. Of course, then we feast our peepers on Annabelle herself, sitting inside this chair here. And for the most part, it's not a bad-looking Annabelle. I think the face is really good on this one. You can sort of see, yes, you probably can quite clearly see, there's some blood splattering on her face. Really subtle and still enough that when you look at it, you know something isn't right at all. I mean, obviously, if you've seen any one of the Conjuring Annabelle films, you know there's a whole lot wrong with this doll. And I think, again, like the face is pretty good on it. I like the eyes, and I like the eyelashes. I like there's the little bit of reflection cascading off of those eyeballs. Very, very nicely done. And it does have, to some extent, a look like it's made of wood. I don't know if I feel like perhaps the paint has let the statue down a little bit. Well, I do think the paint is really good in some areas like the cheeks and stuff. I feel like the main base color, this peach colored flesh tone that they used, perhaps isn't quite the right color to Annabelle. I feel like it should be a lot paler than this. It's a much more warmer coloring of skin tone that I really don't think works well for the statue. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice looking paint job, and I think they executed it well, like the areas around the eyes, the areas on the lips, the splattering of that blood again. And there's all these little scratches and sort of lines that they've put and painted on the side of her face as well, are all really good. But I feel like perhaps, maybe it's the base coat, this main color of skin tone, it's a little too warm. It should be a lot colder, a lot paler, I feel, for Annabelle. Other than that, I think it's a really good head sculpt. Of course, you've got the pigtails on either side. These are PVC plastic, so you wouldn't be able to, of course, be able to do this with resin. We can lift and move those around. You can see there's some bows there as well. The hair is sculpted also quite nicely, too. Let's just spin this around so you guys can see the back of it. Very effective, the way that they've painted it. A few little imperfections, of course, on the back of the neck. I would imagine that they probably have painted the doll and then put her down on the chair, instead of course, trying to get around there with a paintbrush. That would make no sense whatsoever. As for the dress itself, it sort of has more of a pinkish color than it does more of a white wedding dress. Of course, with the pink, it still allows for that white to show through. And then she has the little bow there located on the side of her dress. Very nicely sculpted. Again, I feel like the paint probably could be off just a slight bit. And as for her hands, she's got these gripping open hands. I'm not really sure what specifically she's supposed to be gripping, but I guess that's just the sculpting of the doll's hands. It just so happens the way that they're laying up like this, it actually kind of looks like she should be holding something. Despite that, though, like I said, it's a decent sculpted looking statue, but again, quite small. Small is not necessarily a bad thing at all. In fact, I think if you could have increased the size of this, it almost would have been too much. I think for the sake of having this simply just be a doll in a rocking chair, I really don't think it has to be overly big. A size like this is ideal because, again, it doesn't take up much space at all. It's a well-painted looking statue. Again, with just a few little questionable colors that they decided to go with for the face. Overall, I think this one delivers exactly what I would want for an Annabelle to be. Short of for the fact that she doesn't have a display case. Which I think if anybody, again, has seen the Annabelle movies, knows that a statue like this definitely needs to have a display case to keep all that evil well contained. I don't believe Diamond has delivered many other Annabelle gallery statues. In fact, this could be their first and only. And as it goes for a first outing, let's just assume it is their only release of her. It's a pretty good looking Annabelle when it's all said and done. This one doesn't have, of course, the cabinet, so maybe down the road they could release a larger version of Annabelle as a gallery statue with the display cabinet. That would be fun. But this is basically straight out Annabelle, evil as evil goes, sitting on her evil rocking chair. I don't think the rocking chair is necessarily evil, but we'll go ahead and run with that. The warmer colors of both the chair and Annabelle work well to the contrast of the colder looking floor. So I like the fact that the floor is more of the gray color. You don't want to throw in too many of these warmer colors. Speaking of warmer colors, though, I do feel, while I do like the sculpting of Annabelle, I do feel like the colors on her skin are a little too warm for my liking. They probably could have incorporated a little more yellows, a more paler complexion to deliver home the perfect looking Annabelle, but the sculpting is pretty good on this one. And nice little touches of detail are the little splatterings of blood across her face. Again, this one does do a pretty good job in a smaller format. It's definitely one of the smaller gallery statues we've looked at on this channel, and I guess maybe fittingly enough, it goes well hand in hand with Annabelle. Just again, word of a wise, probably keep it away from a desk. Keep it further away, maybe in the corner of the room, and just don't look at it too often. She doesn't really like when you look at her. What do you guys think down below in the comments section? Let me know what you guys think of the Conjuring Annabelle Gallery Diorama statue from Diamond Select. Also, if you guys are new to the channel and liking the content you're seeing, consider the idea of hitting that subscribe button down below. And yes, move on over to that rocking chair. Why is that chair rocking all of a sudden? That's strange. I don't have the window open. Make sure you hit that bell notification as a friendly reminder so you know that when new videos are popping up on this channel, you'll get those nice friendly reminders. I can also throw into the hat a friendly reminder that Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when you'll find new videos popping up. And yes, if you guys would like to stay tuned, keep those peepers ever peeled, there's definitely going to be a lot more Gallery Statue reviews coming your way, and we're going to be having a look at a whole ton of other Diamond Select releases. So again, keep those peepers peeled. Why does he keep saying peepers peeled? It works. That's what we do. It's a tagline we use for this channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do, and I'll see you guys next time.